Lewis Hamilton has joined numerous other Formula One drivers in deeming the Monaco Grand Prix not fit for the current era of cars. He could be seen this weekend pushing for changes to the Monaco Grand Prix, stating, "I'm pretty sure people were falling asleep on Sunday." It's true that the Monaco Grand Prix was a bit of a sleep fest. Overtaking was nearly impossible, and Max Verstappen even told his engineer that he should have brought a pillow in the car. However, this is nothing new in current Formula One, with the car's size being unsuitable for Monaco's narrow track layout. But that wasn't all that Hamilton had come harsh about, as he could be seen rather frustrated during the weekend. This all had to do with him not receiving an upgrade Russell did get and being ignored throughout the race, costing him a chance of overtaking Verstappen. This all prompted Hamilton to lash out badly at Mercedes, F1 and the FIA after the race. But is the backlash justified? To make matters worse for Hamilton, the lap 1 red flag forced the bulk of the field into a non-stop tyre management race, removing any strategic intrigue further down the line as well. "I think it was non-eventful," Hamilton added. "I don't know how it felt watching, but I'm sure people will fall asleep." Whereas Max Verstappen and Christian Horner recommended changing Monaco's circuit layout to spice up the event, Hamilton had a different idea about the tyres. After the bulk of Sunday's field went lights out following the restart without stopping, Hamilton feels pushing cars down pit lane may improve the spectacle. "Ultimately, I think our tyres can do a whole race, so 2 harder tyre compounds here," he stated. "We've got to find ways to spice it up, maybe mandatory 3 stops or something to spice it up a bit, maybe more." Hamilton's answer is worth contemplating, as for the first time in Formula One history, the top 10 finished exactly as they began. What do you think? Does Monaco need changes? While several required stops may not have an impact on the on-track spectacle, the strategic issue would provide spectators with something to look forward to as drivers and teams strive to push on in-laps, out-laps, and execute pit stop passes. Still, if a new pit stop regulation had been applied on Sunday, Hamilton and Mercedes may have been caught off guard. Hamilton opened a space behind to pit and avoid losing a position during Sunday's race, and Mercedes summoned the 7-time champion to the pits on lap 51, switching medium for hard Pirelli rubber. The goal was to undercut Max Verstappen in 6th place, but Hamilton did not receive the out-lap critical alert and ended up behind the Red Bull when the Dutchman pitted on lap 52. This left Hamilton hanging, and his frustration could be heard in the radio. Toto Wolff, Mercedes Formula One chief, said after the race that, "We got the messaging completely wrong during Lewis Hamilton's pit stop at the Monaco Grand Prix, when he was attempting to undercut Max Verstappen." With both drivers seeking to get the most out of the medium tyres they had switched to under a red light on the first lap, Mercedes made the initial move on lap 51, pulling 7-time world champion Hamilton into the pits. However, the Briton did not get a out-lap critical message, and was still behind Verstappen when Red Bull pitted him 1 lap later, causing an angry Hamilton to ask, "Why didn't you tell me out-lap was critical?" When asked to explain what happened after the race, Wolff replied, "That was a miscommunication between us on the pit wall that we got wrong. It should have been an out-lap critical trying to undercut. But then there was a debate whether any out-lap would be enough from the new tyre, and so the message he got was at best confusing but probably wrong. It should have been an out-lap critical, and the worry in the background was that if we thrashed that tyre in a single lap, then what would happen later?" But in summary wrong message to Lewis, this was the team's fault. When asked why Hamilton waited so long in the race before pitting, given that he had already opened up a lead to the chasing RB of Yuki Tsunoda, Wolff subsequently added, "We wanted to be close to Verstappen and then do the undercut, which obviously we got the messaging completely wrong." George Russell chose not to pit and raced to the flag on medium tyres, finishing 5th despite Verstappen's pressure. Wolff confessed that, "The moment the crash happened, it was clear that we were really on the back foot," and feels Mercedes could have done nothing to change the course of the race. "Fundamentally, I don't think there is a lot you can change in Monaco," he stated. "You pretty much end where you start." But even the start from Mercedes was criticised after the race, as both drivers started on hards, and with Monaco being a track full of surprises, many fans were left wondering why the Mercedes didn't start on the mediums, just like the 4 cars at the front of the grid did. There was even speculation that Hamilton has been put on hards against his own will. This was thought to be the case when he returned to the pit lane under a red flag and said, "I told you guys," to his Mercedes race engineer Peter Bonington. This resulted in a free tyre change for all of the remaining drivers, with Hamilton switching his hard Pirellis for a pair of mediums during his mandated change. That sparked suspicion that the Briton was unhappy about beginning on the hard tyres when he could have covered 75 laps on the mediums instead. Hamilton denied this in his post-race media statement, stating that he wanted to start on the hard tyres. "Well, I think it was going to be long either way, whichever tyre you were on. But I wanted to start on the hard," he said. "I felt that something was going to happen at the beginning of the race, and normally that would create an opportunity to switch over to the hards and go away to the end. But I think at the end of the day, everyone drove so slow that every tyre made it to the end, so it didn't make any difference." Even though Hamilton would have wanted to start on the hards, there still was something to be angry about for the Brit, and that was the fact that Russell did get an upgrade for his car during the Monaco GP weekend, and Hamilton didn't. This further fueled speculation that Mercedes are actively putting Russell first now that Hamilton is nearing his exit from the team. However, during the weekend, Toto Wolff was quick to try and shut down the rumours and stated that both drivers are treated equally, despite a declaration from Lewis Hamilton that may have implied differently. Hamilton had finished in the top 3 positions in all 3 practice sessions for the Monaco Grand Prix, but he qualified 2 spots behind teammate George Russell. The accused different behaviour against Hamilton has resulted in him starting ahead of his British rival only once in the first 8 rounds, and expects the trend to continue this season. "I already know automatically that I'm going to lose 2 tenths going into qualifying," Hamilton said. "I don't anticipate being ahead of George in qualifying, particularly this term." When asked if he expected to remain behind Russell in terms of 1-lap pace for the rest of the season, Hamilton said, "We'll see." Is Hamilton just in a rough patch of form, or is Mercedes trying to sabotage their star driver? As with the announcement that Hamilton would be leaving to join Ferrari in 2025, the Briton's statements were seen as indicating something was wrong on his side of the garage. That was exacerbated when it was revealed that Mercedes had rushed a new specification front wing to Monte Carlo, which only Russell had been driving on his W15 car all weekend. Could Mercedes be taking revenge for being left behind by Hamilton? However, Wolff emphasised that despite Hamilton's upcoming departure, Mercedes has consistently provided its drivers with equal opportunity to excel. Questioned on whether he thinks paranoia was creeping into Hamilton's head with such comments, Wolff said, "You know, aren't all drivers a bit sceptical at times? I think as a team we've demonstrated even in the most tense competitions between teammates that we are trying to always balance the drive and be transparent and fair. I think that was not a moment apart from 2016 Abu Dhabi, where it instructed Hamilton to stop backing up Nico Rosberg, where we tried to manage these areas. We haven't done since then, but I can understand that as a driver, you want the best out of yourself and the team. Sometimes when it's going against you, you can question. As a team, we are 100% on a mission of giving the 2 drivers 2 great cars, the best possible cars and the best possible strategies and support." Wolff also disputed that his relationship with Hamilton was strained, insisting that he is keen to complete his final season with the squad on a positive note. "Well, we're trying to do the best out of the relationship, trying to maximise the results for what is the final season," he said. "And that, you know, always between drivers and teams can be tense at times because everybody wants to do their best." What do you think? Are Mercedes quietly trying to sabotage Hamilton into different setups and keeping him behind in the upgrade schedule? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.